Studying the Bible and church history, it's easy to observe a repeating cycle of events. Complacency leads to persecution, persecution leads to building of faith leads to revival, and revival eventually cools down to complacency. While this cycle seems to repeat, the severity and the levels of the cycle are completely different depending on the time and the situation. Various countries seem to be at different points in the cycle at any given time throughout history, but with the emergence of global systems vis-a-vis social media, news media, and governments collaborating together, the increasing power and authority they've given themselves has put most of the countries kind of in the same place of persecution all at once. There seems to be a coordinated effort to push God out of societies and replace him completely with ungodly agendas and actions. I've seen this in America, and I know it's happening around the world as well. While the consequences of pushing God out of society seem to have intensified as of late, the process to push him out has been taking place for about 50 years now. Looking back, we can see clearly how ungodly ideologies took over, not because Christians fought and lost, but because many battles they didn't bother fighting at all. In the 1920s, there were these trials called the Scope trials, which revealed the incredible fallacies of evolution and banned this fictitious theory of humanism from being taught in schools. Yet in the 1950s, when it was quietly slipped back into the textbooks, no one batted an eye. Then Bibles were no longer taught in school shortly after that, and society began to degrade in a way unimaginable before then. Nowadays, social media companies have been caught and had to admit the obvious. They promote demonic principles while banning or shadow banning godly ones. They've done this for years now, believing that they had enough complacent righteous people and energized people willing to promote their evil agenda, but they miscalculated. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Christians across the land, including many who were formerly complacent or lukewarm, have been awakened. There's a massive move of God starting to take place, and the evil principalities can feel the rumblings of the earthquake. This move of God is splitting open the foundations of evil that they built atop our country, and it's the best time to be alive. You should be so encouraged by what God is doing. Strongholds are being broken, and places that had evil principalities are being overtaken by the godly people willing to stand up. Countless Christians are starting to realize the power and the authority they've been given when they abide in God's presence and yield to the Holy Spirit and what he wants to do. Righteousness, peace, and true love are the driving forces behind demolishing the evil principalities. Even many people who built said demonic strongholds are turning to the light and seeking God's forgiveness while they can. It's time for Christians to rise up and shine the light that's been given to them by God. The world has tried to intimidate us with raids, censorship, and insults, but these things are not cause for us to ever yield to fear. Our God is always victorious, and every single one of us has an important role in bringing his kingdom down to the earth. We are not made to just survive until we go to heaven and barely make it there by the skin of our teeth. We are called to bring heaven down to earth as a yielded clay vessel full of precious treasure. The world will tell you never to talk about religion or God, but Jesus says, be unashamed to share God with all of creation. As Christians, we don't follow the world, we follow God. He is with us, and he has commanded us to love each other and not fight each other over worthless or menial things. If we choose to fight instead of unite, then we'll surely crumble. But if we come together and love each other as God has commanded, then we will flourish. If and only if we love each other, will God be pleased and many unbelievers be saved. You want proof? My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. So then let's rise up together, win spiritual battles, and live a victorious life by the power and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Then we can all go home one day and hear the most amazing words from God. Well done, my good and faithful servant.